Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the SU-14-1. It's the Tier 7 Soviet SPG. It's located on the south spawn of Murovanka, and this one is under the command of talon1958. Oh, and we've got no sound. Okay, well this is a two battle replay, or two battle video. And the SU-14-1 is the latest tank that Talon is mastering. As you can see, he's already got an ace tanker on this vehicle by the mark on the rear of his Arty. Now, the SU-14-1, I can tell you, was designed in the 30s, 1934 to be precise. In this one is armed with the 152mm gun, which is actually the second gun that was actually placed on this Arty, because originally the first gun that it was armed with was in actual fact the 203mm howitzer, the B4. And later on they armed it with the BR2, which is of course the 152.4mm howitzer. Now at that point it was called the SU-14-1, and various other changes were made, such as putting the transmission from the T35 into the vehicle and a better engine. The engine being up front and the driver being up front, but the rest of the crew in the rear. And of course it carried cranes on the side of the vehicle because the shells were very heavy. The 203mm howitzers rounds were two-part ammunition, and they had to be lifted up high onto the vehicle. It's a very big vehicle. Oh, kill! One shot and he got the kill. Panzer IV Anju goes down. He's looking around for his next target. Now, as this is Talon, obviously, you know, he's got a competition going on with his better half, as I would say. His better half being Angelina75, who is playing from the same location, the same house. And they have a competition. Who actually gets the best replay gets the weekend to lie in, and the other one has to look after their son Remy as he enjoys all his toys at the weekend. So there's fierce competition to get the lie-in. And of course it all depends on how good your results are, and well, Talon's really excelled himself, I'd say, on this particular one. He's styling in on C28 HDC, but that budgie is very low on hit points, and he could go with one shot. Lines him up, work out where he's going. That's out, this looks good. Yep, kill. Second kill now for Talon. So yes, with this replay, or these two replays, I think he's sealed in that he's going to get a lie-in this weekend. It is Friday at the moment, so I think actually Angelina has not sent me a really good replay to match these two. So yes, I think Talon's going to be the one who's lying in, having a nice little rest. So getting back to the SU-14, originally it was the first one that was designed was called the SU-14, and they made it from the hull of a T-35 heavy tank. Now the T-35 was a particularly slow heavy tank, it really was. Oh, beautiful shot there. Took the Wolverine out just after he'd been tracked. It was a particularly unsuccessful heavy tank, mainly because they got the dimensions wrong. It was too long for its width. And as David Fletcher pointed out once, there's a certain ratio you have to have, width of vehicle to length of vehicle, and if you get it wrong you get a vehicle that doesn't really move very well. In fact, it moves very slowly because it has to keep moving its tracks or rather turning its tracks to actually enable it to move, maneuver. So it does work against you if you actually make the vehicle too long or too wide. Okay, he's lost sight of those enemies, but that's mainly because there's nobody over that side of the battlefield at the moment to help us. Over this side, the IS has gone back behind that house. Normally you should demolish that house if you get the chance. right at the start of the battle. And there's another house in our cap circle as well. Well, Talon fired into that bush and there was somebody in there, and I think it was the T28 HTC. And if he fires around in that direction, I'm more than likely he's going to demolish that house in the process. Now, the SU-14, they actually built 2 of them originally. Yep, he demolished the house. He demolished them. They built 2 prototypes to start with, and they were working on them, and they made various improvements, such as they took the 203mm howitzer, which is the top gun in this game, and they stuck the 152mm howitzer on instead. And they added a radio station as well, and that called that the SU-14-1. The problem was they were about to build, or they were planning to build another, well, 5 in total. But just as they were planning to build them, the chief designer was arrested by the NKVD, or I think it was called the NKVD back then, or Cheka, the security police, the Soviet version of the Gestapo, and he was sent to the Gulag. And with all of that happening, obviously the designer was not around to actually fix and redesign the Arty. So what did they do? They packed it up and they sent it off to Kubinka, where there's there was some Soviet army establishment there. So it was actually sent to the warehouse and just kept there. And lo and behold, when the Germans invaded in 1941, they reanimated it, so to speak, or not reanimated. Oh, a beautiful kill there. They got it back in working order, and they prepared it for use in battle. And in fact, actually, it didn't have to go very far, because Kubinka was basically the front line, and so they were actually firing on the Germans from where it was stored. Kubinka is now the location of the Soviet Tank Museum, or I should say the Russian Tank Museum. And they've got a very fine museum there with beautiful displays, and it's not like it once was. They used to have sheds, and I think they still have them actually. Oh, tree went down. Somebody there. They did have sheds where they had all the prototypes lined up, all the heavy tanks and the tank destroyers and everything, even the Arty. And in fact, there is one of these, or rather the SU-14-2, I should say, actually at Kubinka. That's the last remaining one. Going for the Hellcat. Rounds out. Just went long, landed behind him, but it was very close. So they actually used it in battle against the Germans, firing the 152mm howitzer. And after a while, the SU-14s were converted into the SU-14-2 by putting a steel cabin around to protect the crews from shell splinters and the like. And that's where they got the SU-14-2 from. Now, it does have some good qualities, this Arty. It has a good range, and it does good damage. The individual shells, the 152mm ones we've got here, do 700 alpha, penetrate 38mm of armour, and got a burst radius of 7.6 meters. With the top gun, you can do 1050 alpha, that's the B4 howitzer, the 203mm howitzer, 1050 damage, 52mm of penetration, and if I remember their burst radius, I can't actually remember it at the moment. It'll come back to me. But I think it's quite a bit bigger, the burst radius. I think it's something like about 10 meters or 11 meters. But I'll look it up. Oh, it's 11 meters. Yes, it's 10.9 is the exact amount. So I was close. Now, one of the really good things about the 152mm version is that you get plenty of ammo, so you don't have to worry about running out. In fact, it couldn't run out even if it tried because of the reload time. You can see here that the Talons managed to get a reload time of 19 odd seconds. Oh, beautiful kill on the move. He takes out that GW, leading the target, then firing around in and got him. Nice. So now he's on 5 kills. He's very close to getting a Top Gun. There's still 2 enemy Artys out there, and I wouldn't be surprised if one of them was still in the northwest corner of the map. He's having a quick look round. You know how precise Talon is with his aiming. He's guessing now where they are because obviously he's had no sign. Hasn't even seen that IS for a while, and he in fact is the only heavy tank left on the enemy team. If you remember, he retreated back after he got badly damaged. And we're looking at the house where he was. But I don't think he's there anymore. I think he's probably pulled back to the tree line, or he's probably going through the magic forest. But he knows that we've got a heavy tank on our team as well. He may not be so keen to meet that guy. Yes, there you go. There's the T1 Heavy, because he's actually quite a good player. And he's already got 1 kill. But the other player who's got multiple kills is the one right next door to us. It's the box tank, the SU-14-1. And that's another prototype that never went into mass production. They did build a version, I believe, with the 13cm naval gun, and I don't think it was ever used. At least I think they did. I believe that the SU-100Y was from the T100 tank, so that's why it gets its name 100, obviously being SU, which is self-propelled gun. Okay, we're trying to work out where the enemy might be. Talon's scanning the area ahead of the Wolverine, hoping that he'll spot something for us. Still got a few minutes left on the clock. It's not going to be easy for him to get to the cap in time to cap out. That's the problem. In fact, I think they've left it too late now, really, to get to the cap. The box tank might get there just in time. But the Wolverine would need to start capping now, and we've just seen the Panzer Selbstfahrerfährte 4C, the Death Toaster, nearby. Talon's trying to dial in as quickly as he can, following the target. He lines the shot up. Oh, and it lands just ahead. He just led it too much there. A fraction too much. I thought for a second that was definitely going to take the guy out. But I think the Wolverine's gone hunting instead of actually going to the cap. We're running short. T1 Heavy says I wasn't going to shoot and get spotted. He's actually hiding. We've got about the same number of hit points, and the enemy is now capping. And Talon's aiming for the bushes. We need one of our teammates to go in and have a look. I suspect it will be the enemy IS that's in there. Either that or it will be the Panzer Selbstfahrerfährte 4C. You can see that house there. Always knock that house down and the camp. Usually completely, because otherwise people can hide behind that house. And it makes it very difficult to work out where the enemy is. If the house is gone and you still can't see them, they must be in the bushes. So you just aim for the bushes. Somebody definitely needs to get in sight of the cap area. Talon's going to fire behind the house, I think. Well, they're moving in towards the cap, and it is behind the house. And he does get the reset, and it's a good reset, and the Death Toaster is no more. He is a dead toaster. And the Wolverine is going racing through the magic forest, but I don't think he's going to find anybody in there. And Talon's loaded again, but now we're running short on time. 25 seconds to go. And there's still 3 enemies out there. 2 Arty and 1 heavy tank. I think this is going to be a draw. I think the problem is that the box tank and the T1 Heavy could have gone to the enemy cap, and they didn't. And there's one of the Arty. Talon fires. Oh! Direct hit, but no kill. 255 hit points, and the clock runs out. And, well, consolation kill there for the Wolverine. This one is a draw. The second replay is on the Glacier map. Game on. Oh, we're missing sound yet again. Oh dear. It's a bit disappointing that they get something like that so wrong, and it's virtually for the entire update that it's been like this, that some battles have sound and some don't. Well, the engine sound anyway, at least. It's not all the sounds that are out, but it is entirely wargaming. It's not the mods, because we checked that. Some work with mods and some don't. And, well, we can see that our T-71CM-CD managed to get up the centre, and Talon's looking for a target that he can hit, including an AMX M445. Lining him up. That's it, beautiful. I think you left that too late there. Oh, he hit him! He did hit him! I thought he'd left that one too late, but he did get a direct hit on the M445. You saw the shell disappear without an explosion. Okay, next target is a Panther. Firing over a ridgeline here. Rounds out. Another direct hit. Right into the tracks. Knocked his tracks off. Okay, there's the M445. You can see he's missing quite a few hit points. 19%. He's lost some more now, and a bit more again. He's certainly not going to be a happy bunny, and he's in the wrong place. Should never go up to the centre line with a heavy. It's asking for trouble because you're too slow to avoid the shells. Rounds out. Even if Wargaming bring in the shell detection device that allows you to know that shells are coming, with a heavy tank on the centre line, you're probably not going to be able to avoid the shell, even if you try. Well, there goes the AMX M445 back to the garage. Now, we've spotted an enemy tank coming up round the circular road, and specifically a Scorpion, which is very low on armour. So if you can hit this one, you more than likely, yes, get a kill. He did get a penetrating shot, and he got a kill. Nice shot there, Talon. I always like hitting tank destroyers which have got no armour, because the shell tends to go through virtually every time. Nice penetrating shot, but you get a nice clean amount of XP. Oh, he's got another kill, the IS. So that's 2. Oh, next target, Setter. Again, another tank with very low armour. But he's opting to move away from that, because there's a T-25-2 tank destroyer with virtually full health sitting in a position where you can actually do damage to our guys. Rounds out. I think that would have been splash on him. Yeah, he's looking to put another round into that T-25-2. Looking round for the enemy Arty at the moment. Any sign of the enemy firing? Any tracer? Nothing in sight. Okay, now's that a Tiger P taking a lot of fire. He's not fully dialed in, and I don't think he's going to be before the guy gets to the top, but he might be able to put a round into him when he gets right up there. Oh, T-25-2, and it looks like he has hit him and splashed him because he's missing some hit points. The Tiger P's managed to get up there, but he's side scraping on our teammate. Rounds out behind him, but it stuns him, and he's picked up some stun assists, so that's good. If he can keep the shells raining in on this Tiger P, we might be able to keep him docile from our teammates to kill him. The reload time for the 152mm, oh, he fired that one in just as the guy got killed. The reload time for the 152mm is 22 seconds. And I think that Talon has 19 seconds on his reload. The reload time for the 203mm is a whopping great 51 seconds. But obviously you can reduce that if you've got premium consumables or good crew or rammer. Talon's noticed that there's an enemy over in the northwest corner. Oh, let's see where he's aiming now. He's gone back to the other side of the map and he's looking to try and get a shot. Pull back. I can't pull back any further actually. He's looking to put a round into that corner because supposedly there's a box, not a box tank, sorry, an SU-14-1, and we do want to damage that guy if we can because he could do some serious damage to some of our teammates. We're still anticipating the enemy coming round this corner towards our cap area. We've got an 87, an SU-130PM, and a Kampfpanzer 07 guarding that area. There's the SU-100M1. Talon's dialing in as he's tracking him, leading the target. Oh, he pulls forward just as he fires. But there's the SU-130PM. Now, he's got very little armor as well. The SU-100M1's got much more armor, and he just took out Arty 29. Now, can he get around on this guy before he pulls away? Fires it in blind. Just hits the ice. So it's still even both sides. Okay, the SU-130PM is headed for the northwest corner. I think he's going to support the teammates who are making their move towards our cap. And the T-25-2 coming up, the same one we fired on before, coming up the centre line, rounds out. He took that shell. He had to eat that one. That won't have made him happy because the T-25-2 doesn't have a lot of armour. And therefore he probably did take a fairly big hit. Now he's got no shot on the SU-130PM at the moment. You can see his reticule bouncing around. I'm controlling the camera at the moment. For some reason it's not giving us a bigger picture. It's actually close up on the enemy. I think that's a fault with the settings, my settings, not Talon's. I tried to correct for it, but it keeps coming back. Okay, he's now aiming up onto the carrier. The SU-100M1 went up there and he's just killed our CS-44, unfortunately. So we're still even on numbers. And you can see Talon's looking around for a shot, but he doesn't have one at the moment. Going back to his camera, you can see how meticulous he is, looking for all of the avenues, all the places where he might be able to get a shot in. We know there's a super Pershing out there. There he is. He poked around the corner. We're dialing in. He's still there. He doesn't realise. And he now does. He took that one. 183. We lost the 87 a while back. I didn't see where that guy went, but unfortunately he has gone, which means there's only 4 tanks. We've got 2 tank destroyers, an SU-130PM, which is a tier 8, and an IKB-90B, which is tier 7. And of course that Kampfpanzer 07 RH, who doesn't appear to be really taking part in the battle at all, and I rather think he's a wallet warrior who's bought himself a premium tank, doesn't know how to use it, and therefore he's sitting at the back all the time, waiting for somebody to win the game for him. It also might be that he's got a very bad crew, and he doesn't know how to play it, so he doesn't want to risk it. Which is a bit of a pity, really. If you get yourself a brand new tank, you should be able to take it out and play it and win with it by fighting. But if you sit at the back and do nothing, you're actually detracting from the team. But there again, obviously, I have proposed that we should make a protest to Wargaming about the changes to Arty. And so basically I'm proposing the same thing as that Kampfpanzer 07 is doing right now. He's sitting at the back line doing nothing, and I'm saying that, well, we should do the same. I know some of you have said, no, we don't want you don't want to do a protest. I understand if you don't want to, but I really think Wargaming are not going to make any changes at all. They're not going to go back on this this update. They are going to damage and ruin Arty, and a lot of people are going to leave the game, and I think this sort of protest will actually make it very clear to Wargaming it's their fault that we're leaving, not any fault of ours. And as somebody pointed out recently, we've invested a lot of time and money in this game to get really good at our class, and then Wargaming goes and ruins it for us. Jump out. Near miss. 165. He did get tracked by our IKV-90B, but he's now heading towards the guy to take him out. There he is. Oh, he's changed course actually. He's gone around to get into cover. He took another hit. Not sure who hit him, but I think it might have been the IKV. Now, looking at the map at the moment, it looks to me like the SU-130PM and the Super Pershing are kind of trapped, or rather, the Super Pershing's trapped, and so is the SU-100M1. They can't get away from the position they're in. The SU-130PM could double back and come around the map all the way round by going anti-clockwise around the map and coming up at the IKV from the south. The only other enemy tank that could do that is the M12. But I'm not sure he would want to do it, given that if he does try to take on the IKV-90B, he's likely to come a cropper. He's only got a 47% win rate. And there's the SU-130PM. So we know that the enemy is committed to the area directly east of our cap area. And a beautiful penetrating shot there from Talon. 742 hit points. I know that's a penetrator because it's 700 alpha. And therefore, for him to get 742, he had to append the guy. Now the SU-100M1, oh, he just took out our SU-130PM. And the IKV-90Bs had to relocate. And here comes the Super Pershing. Talon styling in, getting ready to shoot. Rat out, right in his face for 122, and he's been seen. He was spotted. And there's a shot from the M12, who's also in the corner, and the SU-100M1 also fires a round in. And now that just leaves us with the IKV-90B and the Kampfpanzer 07. And now the IKV's dead. So it's 1 versus 3. So this guy's going to have to pull his finger out now. Question is, how good is he? He's got 87% of his health. He's facing 3 tanks, all 3 of which are badly damaged, except, well, 2 tanks that are badly damaged, and the M12, of course, who isn't. The enemy did lose their Super Pershing. I think that was the IKV-90B got him, and then the IKV went down to, I think it was the SU-130PM or the SU-100. Here he comes! Oh, he's bluffed his first shot. And the shot must have hit the gun on the Kampfpanzer. But he does get the kill. And it's the most important kill because the SU-100M1 is very difficult to kill. And here comes the SU-130PM. Much more easy to kill because he's got thin armor. Just waiting for his stun to go. Now, is this tank any good? He's lost his gun and his driver. But he'll still be able to shoot. Obviously, he just took out the SU-100M1. Can he take out the SU-130PM? The clock's ticking down. And he's going to have to kill 2 in order to get the win. I wonder if that M12 is headed towards our cap. It's looking like it's going to be a draw now. Ten seconds. There's the M12. He is in our cap area, or near our cap area. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2. And that's it. It's 2 draws in a row. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats for both games. Well, here's the end of battle results. And in the first game on Murovanka, it was the second class tanker for talon1958 in the SU-14-1. He got a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He ended up with 5, 1/3 of the enemy team. And he got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He managed to get 13 in total. He got a couple of battle hero medals in that game as well. He got the high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and by holding onto his shell and not firing at the bushes, he actually spotted the Panzercephalofeta 4C, the Death Toaster, and fired a round in which not only reset the cap but also earned him a defender medal at the same time. So the win rate was 4,030 from that one. He says, what can I say? Yes, very good actually, even though it was a draw. He got the highest damage with 2,011 hit points. The next high scorer being the T28 HDC on the enemy team, 1,513 to him, followed by the IS on the enemy team, 1,370. When it came to kills, he had the highest number of those with 5. 3 kills went to the box tank, the IS, the P43, and the P43 also picked up a Leather Slayer's medal in that game. And when it came to base XP, it was, yes, the AMX1357. He got spotting damage. That's why he managed to earn more. 1,409 spotting damage. That bumped up his score quite a bit. And so he came tops, and Talon came second with 546. And the third place person was the M44 on his team with 413. He fired 19 rounds in that game. 6 direct hits, 1 penetration, 12 splash, damage of 2,011 hit points, all of it at 300 meters. Damaged 9 of the enemy, killed 5, 535 hit points of stun assist off 8 stuns. I think if he'd actually had more stun assist off that game, he would have ended up with the top base XP as well. He got 75 defense points. When he got that shell on the Death Toaster, he really did do a good reset at that point. 5 seconds into the spot where he'd actually get the medal, and he earned 33,639 credits on a premium count, 5,954 for courageous resistance, that's for getting an epic medal or a battle hero medal in a losing or drawn game, 39,593 credits altogether, and after resupply of ammunition took away 18,313 credits altogether. 819 XP, 513 for courageous resistance, and took away 1,332 experience points altogether. So a very good game in terms of the fact that a high caliber and a defender out of that one, and it went the full 15 minutes, and neither side really could finish it at the end because they all had too many tanks still alive to finish it off. But I think they could have probably won that game if only the box tank and the T1 Heavy had actually assisted the Wolverine and gone north and all capped at the same time. I think it would have been over very quickly because I don't think the enemy would have been able to stop them capping out. If we look at the second battle, we can see that he managed to get an ace tanker in the SU-14-1 in that game. He also got his first mark of excellence, as well as a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 15. And he got a Gauze medal for doing more damage than 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle. His win rate from that one was 5,648, so a bit better. If we look at the team score, on this one we can see he did 3,109 hit points of damage. Didn't get the high caliber because that went to that SU-100-1. Yes, he was pretty deadly. He not only got a high caliber for the 4259, and he also managed to get a top gun as well with 6 kills. Talon managed to get his Gauze medal, but he managed to get 3,109 hit points, so there was no slacker in this one. And 2,879 hit points went to the Tiger 2. When it came to kills, it was the SU-100-1, as I said, with a top gun. 3 kills went to the T-43, and then 2 kills went to Talon, the Tiger II, the T-29, the Kampfpanzer 007RH, the SU-130PM, and 1 player on the enemy team there, Seta, also got 2 kills. So a lot of people came in joint 3rd place. When it came to base XP, it's that, yeah, SU-100-1 again, got 1056, so that must have been an ace tanker for him. 743 went to Talon, and the next high score after that was the Super Pershing with 662. Talon fired 18 rounds in this game, 8 direct hits, 2 penetrations and 13 splash. Damage of 3,109 hit points, of which 2,987 were up more than 300 meters. He received 2 hits from the enemy. 1 was a penetration, yeah, the one that killed him, unfortunately. 2 hits by way of splash damage as well. And he damaged 8 of the enemy, killed 2, did 365 hit points of damage assistance, plus 1,241 hit points of stun assist off 13 stuns. And I think that's what gave him the ace tanker. He did so much stun assist, so much more stun assist in this one than he did in the previous game. It's unfortunate, really, that he did end up getting killed. It was the position that he was actually in is a fairly open one, really, on the map. And as the enemy was getting closer and closer to the cap, it might have been better for him to move a bit further south. There's that little place, that little ledge, little spot where you can actually hide up there and still shoot at the enemy without them being able to see exactly where you are. He earned 55,338 credits from this game, got 40,000 for completing a mission, 5,954 for courageous resistance, 101,292 credits altogether. After repair and ammunition resupply, he took away 76,955 credits profit. 1,114 XP, 627 for courageous resistance, and took away 1,741 experience points altogether. He said using the Nigel spot on Glacier, well, it is one of the spots I did point out. You can play from that spot, but I think the thing is you do have to, as I said, watch out. If the enemy gets too close to the cap, it's so exposed that if you fire from that position, they will see where you are. So it helps under those circumstances to move south. And this is why I was talking about the fact that if the enemy was coming in from the west directly towards you, you can move south. And the only player that could possibly go around the map the other way was the SU-130PM, but we saw that he stayed in the west area and he was trying to come in with the others. So the only other tank or Arty that could come around the map was the M12. But he actually went that way as well. He went to the northwest corner and tried to attack from that direction. Because one of his shells actually obviously came from that spot. So yes, move south into that little ledge. You have to go up to get to that little cubby hole. But so long as you're in there, you can still shoot at the enemy without fear of being spotted. So I hope you enjoyed both those replays. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.